Hello, welcome to the Rooms with Ronald podcast, brought to you by the Multifamily Media Network. I'm your host, Ronald Harrington. In 2023, I set an intention to shop 100 apartment communities to see how leasing was evolving around the country. Rooms with Ronald was born out of that experience. In this series, I share my experiences and engage in meaningful conversations with other professionals in the industry as we discuss all things related to leasing and marketing. Join in as we expand the Rooms with Ronald experiment. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Rooms with Ronald. I'm your host, Ronald Harrington. Can you believe it is already the second month of 2025? I can't. Where did January go? But it still felt really long at the same time. Well, guess what, guys? I've completed the first shops of 2025, and we're going to digest the content today. I shopped properties in a location that I'm going to not say. I'm not going to tell you guys where we shop this year. It's going to be a surprise when we start to really dissect the data. And I will tell you, I'm doing things a lot differently than I've done it in the past. So my goal is to shop 5 properties a month. And that 5 properties can be done digitally, like putting in a guest card to see what the follow-up looks like. That can be done via telephone, seeing what the telephone experience is like. It can be done on the in-shop person just showing up. So I'm looking at many different things to get to this 5 because I don't have all the time I used to have in traveling as much as I used to where I could, shop apartments in person. So I'm finding ways that a prospect would do. And hopefully that includes some virtual sides of things, right? So this time I shopped, and I kind of have a scorecard for what a telephone shop is going to look like, what an in-person shop is going to look like, and what a digital shop is going to look like. So this time I shopped 5 apartment communities in person. And I also did a digital shop on 7. And, so the 5 that I shopped in person came from that digital shop. Wow. Let me tell you, it wasn't interesting when we start with the digital shop. So out of the 7, I was able to actually shop 6 of them. One of the sites that I went to digitally shop and see what it looked like was very broken. Like when I went to the website, I Googled the property name, property pulled up. I went to the website and it said applicant login, resident login. And that was it. I could not look at anything else. I couldn't put in a guest card or anything like that, which was very disheartening. And so what I'm looking for in a digital shop is, do you have a chat bot? What happens when I put in my guest card? What's the turnaround on the follow-up? I'm also looking, is it an AI follow-up or is it a personalized follow-up? How long did it take you? What specials are you offering? Does it pop up? Can I identify that? And so what does the message say from that digital aspect? So we already know 1, I couldn't even get anything into, right? Which is a shame. The next ones were the other 6, ironically, they all use AI. And so I'm trying to track the software on those kinds of things if I can tell. Sometimes I can't, but most of the time I can because I work in multifamily, right? I know the software. So here's quickly what I noticed, right? I had my list of apartment communities that I've narrowed it down through, whether that was, I want to be in this area of the city, or these looks good on apartments.com, whatever that is. I got my 6. I went, to the first website. I looked around, put in my guest card, did not book a tour this time, but put in my guest card and kind of, then moved on to the next one. And all 6 of them used some sort AI, which is great. I love AI. I think AI helps you respond to your prospects in a timely manner. But here's what I noticed, right? So if I do this all in one setting, which most prospects are, they're not going to, I'm going to look at this community first and then I'm going to wait a couple hours. I'm going to, play on my phone a little bit and I'm going to go look. No, they have their list. They're going to go hit you all at once, whether that's through an ILS, through your own website. When you have AI, the thing becomes is if I do it all in one setting, and this I did in a combination of about 10 minutes, I put my guest card in between the 6 and 10 minutes or so. The problem became I got all of the AI responses back to back to back, which great, that's how I knew. Well, hey, that was my first indication instantaneously that it was an AI response. So I was like, okay, so this is weird from a prospect, right? Because now you're automatically overwhelmed because you're getting all of these follow-ups. But then I started to read the follow-ups. And the more I read, the more that they all sounded the same. So what I thought it would be fun to do is let me read you one of them. I will take out the property name, so that way they don't have anything like that. So you can hear that. Here's one. Thanks for your interest in our homes at subject property. Please let me know how many bedrooms you're looking for and your move-in date. We are offering in-person agent-led tours of our community. Would you be available for a tour tomorrow or Saturday? Frederick is located on this area, a short distance to this area, and gardens. You're in the heart of excitement with the arena in your backyard. For shopping aficionados, there's shops right around the corner and the hottest retail's just steps away. Dining and nightlife are abound in the area. The community offers amenities such as valet trash, controlled access building, and a pet spa. Apartments are equipped with Wi-Fi, USB outlets, plank flooring, quartz countertops, under cabinet lighting, and stainless steel appliances. All apartments have washer and dryers. We offer access controlled indoor on-site parking. For more information, you can visit the website app and the link to their website. So that was the very first message I got from this property. Then I got another one that said, you please let me know how many bedrooms you are looking for. You, not capitalized, right? From the AI. So that was one. The other ones were very similar to that. So I was noticing, right? Hey, that's product of me. I went to your website. I already knew all that information. So was that long text message necessary? B, when I started getting it from other properties in that same area, they all kind of said the same wording, right? Picturesque views here are close to this. It added no value. And I was like, wait, didn't I just get this text message? It was literally like insert property here, say the same thing. And you swap out the properties. And then when I went back to the websites and look, the websites all kind of look the same. And I feel in my heart of hearts that most websites do look the same, right? Very boxy. You click here, right? There's not again, you're just swapping out photos. They're not memorable. So the problem became is that I got all these text messages. I was like, okay, and I did it late at night for a reason. So I wanted to see how long before the next day it kind of came around. But later in the night, I looked, I got a text message that said, thanks so much for your interest. To schedule your tour or to text with us, please use the link below. Couple problems. A, to schedule your tour, use the link below. That's not the problem. Problem is, you said to text with us. What are we doing? We are texting right now. You text my phone. I didn't get an email. You sent me a text. So why do I need to click on a link to go text an apartment? I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Another property, that I went to and I tried to get information on, and they sent me the text and all of those things, which also was this property that said to schedule an appointment or to text us, click here. So I clicked there. I could not schedule an appointment. So instantly I was already frustrated, right? I was like, nope, can't do it. Not going to do it. So I finally, almost at the mid of their day, so they'd been in the office for about 6 hours before they responded, I get a personalized follow-up from the community manager that is about a book long in an email, welcoming to their community. They're so excited. They're under construction. And then we can't offer tours at this time. But you can pre-lease an apartment. We hope to be able to offer tours in the month of February and for move-ins in March. Don't tell me to book a tour. You had nothing tangible to give me. So that kind of already set it off. So I did not go see that one. So now we've eliminated one because I couldn't go book anything on their site. It was broken. 2, you couldn't tour me on anything. So now it's down to 5. So I booked the 5 appointments. I didn't get a lot of confirmations. I booked one for the first day I got there, and I was having trouble booking, and they were closed on Mondays. The property was literally closed on Mondays, which seemed odd to me that you're open Saturday, Sunday, closed on Mondays. But okay. So I went ahead and booked an appointment for Sunday at this property. And I got there after Ubering across town. I got there. I spent $30 to go shop this property at 1 o'clock, 1:30. And there's a sign on the door. We are closed until 2 o'clock. I'm like, interesting. Because I tried to rebook my tour for a later time because I never got the confirmation. And it says, you already have an appointment booked for this for 1 o'clock today at this time. Would you like to reschedule? Like, no, I'll just go ahead and keep it then. No, I had it. Nothing on the door. Like, there was the sign that says, we're at lunch, whatever the reason is, which I get. People got to eat. Don't come for me for that. But my appointment. So now I spent my money. I couldn't get into the building. Like, there was nothing. So I was like, well, okay, maybe I didn't do something right. So it's past the time. So I go onto their website again, and I'm on their chat box, and I can book an appointment. And it says you can book an appointment for 1:30, 1:45, 2 o'clock. So I do 2 o'clock. I instantly get a reminder. So when the first time I did it, either it didn't go through, even though when I went back to the website a few hours later, it said I had an appointment, or B, it wasn't working when I did it. And I get it. It says, thank you so much for inquiring. Someone will be with you shortly. Then I get an email back that says your appointment is confirmed. It had several typos in it. It listed every amenity that they had, and it told me the special off the back in this appointment confirmation. And they were offering a lot of specials: 2 months free, no app-on fee on select apartments, another 8 weeks free on other apartments, $0 fee on that, a look and lease special of $2,000 or $500 to $2,000, or 2 weeks free if you apply the same day. They had a lot of specials, and I was overwhelmed. So 2 o'clock rolls around. I go back to the property. I walk in, and I will say the leasing agent is helping someone else. Person is filling out a piece of paper at their desk. Nothing more. Doesn't acknowledge me. Doesn't make eye contact with me. Doesn't say, we'll be right with you. Have a seat. Nothing like that. Literally stand there for 5 minutes and not an acknowledgement. So I walked out. I just said, I'm not doing this. So I walked out. So that experience was bad. And then, so I thought, okay, I had an appointment at 2 o'clock. Someone's going to reach out to me to see if I was coming in for my appointment, ask me to reschedule, any of that. I got no follow-up from them on, sorry, we missed you. Nothing. Not a single thing. Later in the week, I got 6 emails from that property, and that were like about their specials. They send it out, and then literally 45 minutes later, it says even better specials. So they changed their specials right after they sent the original email, which sends it back. Now you just look desperate. And then I get their automated AI follow-up on top of it. So I'm overwhelmed. And they were advertising net effective rent in the email. Most prospects aren't going to know what that means. And then they had some acronyms that I still don't know what they mean to this day. That was a poor experience. Horrible, and you're offering all those specials. So then the next day I go shop some more properties in the morning. And it is so funny because the first one I go to, it's a secured building. So when I go in, like someone has to let me in because no one's there to greet me. I called, no one's there to call. So someone let me in and I'm just standing there. There's no signage on the door saying, hey, we're out on tour. We'll be right back. Nothing, right? No signage. So I'm sitting in their lobby for like 7 minutes, like, okay, am I in the right spot? What's going on here? So finally the leasing agent comes back from her tour. She greets me. She's got stuff on her desk. Again, not a big deal. And then she starts to move. She's like, sorry that my desk, like, it's my last day. People are bringing me gifts. So I had this internal conversation, like, it's your last day. So again, if I move in because of you, you're not going to be here. And she instantly was like, but I'm not like leaving the company. This is a great company. This is a great area. I'm just getting promoted. The other people are in training. They will be with you. Yeah. So, okay, cool. We sit down. She asked me what I'm looking for. She asked me, those basic questions. And then instantly we go on a tour. Like I'm literally sitting at her desk for like maybe 2 minutes. She takes my ID, asks me what size apartments, and then we're off to the races. And we go and she showed me the parking, and then we have to stop the tour because a resident needs a package. So she has to let the resident get the package. And we're going up, and she does great at encouraging me to take photos, gets to know me a little bit, asks me what I think, takes me back down to the office, reminds me that it's her last day, but the leasing agent will follow up with me. She'll send me a thank you, kind of summarizing what we talked about, and we went on the way. So I got the email that, thank you so much for, didn't highlight anything that we talked about, didn't highlight the apartments we said, just thanks for touring. I hope I was able to answer your questions. Please let us know if you have anything. And then the couple of follow-ups later, I got one follow-up that said, it was so nice meeting you, with not the person's name. And then just the other day, I got another follow-up that says, thank you so much for inquiring. It was the template email. It said, thanks. It had a person's name, but the signature line didn't match. So now I'm like, so again, I'm just a number. Did not ask me to apply for the apartment. The second property tour that I went to, again, super nice people, jumped right up and greeted me, let me in, asked me some questions, sat me down at the desk for 2 or 3 minutes, and walked me through the models, made no desire to get to know me. So we go see the first apartment. She takes me up and she's like, so this is our first apartment. We're going to go look at it. Like, what do you think? So she's asking these trial closing questions, which is perfect. And we get back in the elevator and she's telling me, my objection is like, oh, what's traffic like? I know this area. It probably gets congested on these types of things. And she's like, well, you're a resident. They do close down the street, but you're a resident, so you'll be able to get access. So by the time we see the second apartment, she now asks me, what's my price range? How much am I looking to spend? So I tell her, and she's like, oh, are you living in the area already? And I'm like, no, I'm coming from Indiana. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. I don't know much about Indiana. I used to be in the military. And the only thing I know about Indiana is I had to watch a video when I was in the military. And it was from service people who made the video in Muncie, Indiana. Ironic, because that's where I'm from. So she saw my ID. So did she pick up and say, oh, I'm going to correlate this? I don't know. Maybe the video was from Muncie, but I thought that was a cool tie-in. The problem became is we talked about why I was moving. I told her I travel a lot for work, so I'm not home a lot. And she proceeded to show me the same floor plan in 3 different locations. One faced this way, one faced this way, one faced a parking garage. Nothing changed about the floor plan. It just was the view and the price on some of them. And I'm over here like, if I told you I'm never home and I really didn't care, I would probably say, so you don't care about the view. Perfect. I think I have one apartment that will meet your needs, right? And I would have showed you the garage view. Then you would have said, "Oh, I don't like this view. I need direct sunlight. I need XYZ." But they didn't do it. I saw 3 different apartments of the same floor plan in 3 different locations. And then it was, "I'm going to send you a follow-up that summarizes this. We don't have paper here, so I'm just going to give this to you all in email form, and you can have all this." That was a week and a half ago, and I'm still waiting for that email to come through because I have no tangible good. And it took her halfway through the tour to even tell me her name, and she never used my name. And this property was offering 2 months free, but yet she never asked me to apply for the apartment. Kind of just sent me on my way. Like, okay, well, I'm going to send you a follow-up, things like that. Again, what's with it with the desk? Like, the desk must be contagious. So then I go to my third appointment for the day. And I show up and I'm greeted. The guy stands and we kind of, sit down here, gets to know me, never introduces himself, takes my ID and just kind of really, "Okay, let's go. What are you looking for?" "Oh, we don't have those. We don't have any 1 bedrooms. We have a studio. We have 2 bedrooms right now. What do you want to see?" I was like, "Oh, the studio's fine, right?" And I will say, like, we went to the studio. He showed me the amenity space. It was great, redone. The studio was nicely laid out for a studio. Didn't ask a lot of questions. It was kind of awkward. So we see the studio first, and we go out the door, and we wrap around. And he's like, "Oh, sorry, are you from the area?" And I was like, "Oh, yes and no. I used to live here before. It's been some years, so I'm kind of like new but old." And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Yeah." And I'm like, "So can you tell me about the homeless?" And he responds with, with all the development going in here, the city is doing a great job at trying to clean it up. It's not perfect yet. Cool. We go on. The community is beautiful. And then they have some chairs. And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Those chairs look super uncomfortable." He was like, "Oh, yeah, they are. People kind of, sit in them. Sometimes they can't get out or they fall." And I'm like, "Yeah, they just look uncomfortable," which was the perfect opportunity to say, "Why don't you sit in it? Why don't you see if they're uncomfortable? Why don't you go touch it?" Nope. It was like, "Okay, cool. Let's go back here. Since we're already over here, do you want to see a 2 bedroom?" Okay. So we see a 2 bedroom. We go up. He shows me. He's like, "So what do you think? Would you prefer the studio or the 2 bedroom?" Now, mind you, there are 2 totally different options, and like not identifying any of the needs. I was like, "I think I would do a studio." And we go back down, and he's like going through the motions and what he did super well though. And I will say this: we sat down. He never asked me to apply for the apartment, but he sat down and says, "I know you're probably going to need to think about it," which that wasn't good, "but I want to show you the process of what you're going to do when you go apply at home." So he turns his screen towards me and he starts showing me how to apply for this apartment, which I could tell he was getting frustrated because he kept having pop-up over pop-up. And every time he went to a page, like he had to click out of something. And I was getting frustrated because I was like, I would never do that. That's too many clicks for me to have to close out these pop-ups. I'm like thinking, please just leave it up for yourself to save yourself some time so you don't have to click through it. But he is the first person in a long time that has did that kind of thing for me of the walkthrough of that. So he gives me all the paperwork. He writes his name on his business card. He staples it and he gives it to me. So this is how I know his name. I got no follow up until like 2 days later. 2 days later, I got the "thanks for visiting XYZ." I have his business card. "It was so nice meeting you," is what it said. Did not highlight anything. Just was the generic, "It was so nice meeting you. I hope I was able to answer your questions." And then had a different name that was on his business card. If I would have built a connection with this person and now someone else's name is being brought in that I have no clue about, that breaks trust. It breaks that connection. So I'm like, I tell people this all the time, like, if you are helping someone do their follow-ups, yay for you. I am so glad that you see the value in that. B, if they toured, sign that person's name. Most of your property management software systems are time stamped with the person who does the activity. So if you need to get credit for it, you're going to get credit. As the prospect, I should be led to believe that I am talking to the person I toured with. Plain and simple, right? And then I never got anything else from them. And then the last one. Let's save the best for last, because I thought in multifamily we could not get any lower when it comes to touring. Boy, was I wrong. So I went to their website, remember? I started out with there. I put in my guest card. I got a big laundry list of everything that they're doing, all of that. I could not book an appointment online. It's 2025 and I can't book an appointment online. So that's weird. I can book an appointment online for my dentist and my doctor, but not the apartment community that I want to live up. It's a brand new community in lease up mode. And it says, we operate by walk-in tours only. Please stop in and tour. Lease up, no sense of urgency. Website says at least 6 weeks free, but you can't make an appointment and everyone has all the time in the world for me to show up. So what do? I show up. I go into the office. Someone's helping somebody. People are just standing over in a cluster kind of talking, I'm assuming to a supplier partner about a TV or something like that. So I'm there for 3 to 5 minutes. So just kind of standing like, hey, can I tour? Finally, someone comes and greets me. I'm like, hi, I would like to take a tour, please. And she was like, okay, great. Well, we are all self-guided tours at this community. So you're going to be able to tour on your own. Here's a map. Here's a key fob. Follow the breadcrumbs along the wall. It will guide you to where you want to go. That was the level of service people were offering me. Okay, a couple things. Never once in the conversation did she take my name, my phone number, or my email address. She literally gave me a map and a key fob, and never I checked my ID, anything. Just gave me access to their building, told me to follow the breadcrumbs. I had no list of apartments that were available to be viewed. I didn't know what a one bedroom, which ones were 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms. The map was a nice map. It was laminated and color coded, but there was things circled and other things wrote on there. So it told me it was from a previous prospect who they were probably talking with at the end, highlighting these things. But all I was told was, here's the map, here's the key fob, follow the breadcrumbs. And I'm like, well, where do I start? You start down there through that door. So I follow the signs. One sign says leasing office this way. One sign says apartments this way. So I followed the breadcrumb that says to the apartment. I get into the hallway, and I go up the hallway, and I'm like, okay, these look lived in. So how am I going to know which apartment that is available to view? So I spend probably a good 3 minutes just walking up and down this hallway. Like, am I missing something? Am I doing this wrong? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, okay, so let me just start at the top. Let me go to the 5th floor. I get off the elevator. I see an arrow that says apartment this way. So I go through that door again, and nothing on that floor. So the arrow is wrong. So then I come back out, and I'm like, okay, well, there's apartments this way. Let me go this way. So now I start to see the breadcrumbs up to the apartments. And I get to the apartments, and I finally found the one that says, view me. And so I'm like, okay, great. This is the key fob. Mind you, this whole time I'm thinking, do I have a key fob, a master key fob to the community? Like, they don't have my ID. So I go and view it. Again, no lights were on. It was unfurnished, things like that. But what they did do well is like when you walked in, it had a dog on like a wall cling that says we're pet friendly. And then on the other wall was like a wall cling that had a TV that says like 55-inch TV here, and it listed some of the amenities. And then in the bedroom, it had like a wall cling of a queen bed, and it said queen bed fits here. However, none of them were on the wall straight. They were all crooked and unlevel, and that was driving me crazy. But then I thought, well, I have a king size bed. So what if my king size bed doesn't fit? I have no one to answer this. And then I go down, I find another apartment on my way back because I went a different way. I went through the gym. I went through all the amenities. Again, nothing's labeled on where the amenities are, which the amenities are to die for, and the views and the two-story gym, all of that. And I was just like, wow, there are a lot of missed opportunities here. So then I go back to the office, leasing agent still helping someone. All the people that were there earlier are still there, but now they're just eating. They see me walk in, don't acknowledge me, don't do nothing. The leasing agent makes eye contact with me as she's helping, does not do the universal signal for one moment or anything, literally just makes eye contact and then looks away. So I'm standing there. What do I do? So what did I do? I put the map and the key fob on the desk and I walked out the door. That was it. Walked out the door. So they have no record of what I liked, what I didn't like, my name, my phone number, none of the contact information. And they don't know if I was in their building. What if I was a dishonest person? I would have had access to their building because I could have taken that key fob. I could have taken the map and the key fob and no one would have ever known. And it's a lease up offering concessions. This market that I toured was a very concession-driven market with at least 2 months free and then a concession upon concession, all told me at the get-go, all used as an incentive to get me in the door to make up for the poor customer service that I got. Guys, it is going to be a long year, so the goal is to shop 5 properties each month, 60 properties in total, hopefully, if not more. But if they're anything like these first 5, A, you're going to be the first to know as a listener of Rooms with Ronald, and B, wish me luck because it is going to be a bumpy ride. No one asked me to apply for an apartment. Everyone is allergic to desk in this market, and there was nothing personalized about my experience. All of these are within easy reach, easy wins for you. Until next time, guys, you've been listening to Rooms with Ronald, a podcast brought to you by the Multifamily Media Network. I'm your host, Ronald Harrington. Happy leasing. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope I left you with some fresh ideas or a new perspective. Leasing and marketing are evolving rapidly, and Rooms with Ronald is committed to offering a place to hear about those changes. We also celebrate and acknowledge the fundamentals of exceptional service that will never go out of style. So, if you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, or subscribe. Visit multifamilymedianetwork.com to learn more about our other exceptional industry podcasts, call pieces, and sponsorship opportunities.